Hello dear friends, Michelle is back on the line, and I remind all those who watch my videos for the first time that I actually specialize in preparing reviews of numerous fraudulent projects in the field of trading in international financial markets. Although sometimes, of course, I pay attention to various historical incidents in the field of trading, and of course I try to make you more aware of the meaning and correct application of various professional financial terms. But today, as I myself believe, we will have not only an interesting but also an extremely important review, because I will tell you about a real gang, an international criminal syndicate. Yes, I have already done several materials on the BTG-Capital project, and the current one will be the third in a row. You know, every time I think that I have already found out everything about the machinations of this project, and it is already possible to draw the final conclusion, and yet I constantly discover new depths of baseness and deception in these scammers. So today we will talk about them. Yes, friends, if you like my reviews, I ask you to like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want me to talk about a particular project to study it specifically for you, write me about it in the comments. I also ask you to write me if you have already encountered scammers, especially if you have lost your money there. On the condition of maintaining your anonymity, I will try to give you some tips on how to quickly and effectively return the funds stolen from you. The contacts by which you can always find me are listed in the description of this video. Well, friends, and I'm starting my review. Let's go. Okay. So, I would like to briefly remind you why, in fact, I categorically did not recommend anyone to invest in the BTG-Capital project. Yes, as usual, I have now moved to the central page of the project portal, and I have already managed to find out why I can say this with 100% probability that the project cannot be trusted. Let me remind you briefly the tools that are at disposal of the traders here. In fact, there is nothing related to classical stock trading. The only thing that will be available to you is contracts for difference in prices, the so-called CFDs. This is certainly not what you needed for stable work in the long term. The problem is that the contract for difference is actually nothing more than a financial bet, the parties of which are a broker and a trader. And such relationships do not lead to a reliable partnership, especially if we know that CFD is the only one available way of cooperation. Deposit replenishment methods, in fact, if you decide to work with BTG-Capital, then pay attention to the fact that apart from transfers to plastic cards and through electronic wallets, there are simply no ways to somehow replenish your trading deposit. And this actually means that you are making a transaction in favor of some anonymous individual. All scammers use such transaction methods to make it as difficult as possible for a trader to protect his rights and interests. Establishment of the project in the offshore zone of Mauritius. The fact that the broker is registered in the offshore zone hides a truly huge number of problems related to local legislation. In fact, offshore, in order to bring its investment attractiveness to the maximum level, gives business guarantees of maximum anonymity. That is why we will not find any mentions of the names of the project managers and creators on the BTG-Capital portal. This is a secret that will be hidden in order to ensure your protection in case you decide to go to the police. And the last point, which is directly related to registration in the offshore zone, the license of the financial regulator of the project under consideration is also issued in Mauritius. And this is a real disaster. I'll just tell you that actually traders have practically no real chances of protecting their rights, interests, and money with such a legal structure. But most often people do not understand it right away. First, they go to the police, and lawyers spend a lot of money to find out at least something. Moreover, I will tell, the costs of legal assistance can easily exceed even the amount of the deposit that you have lost. And it turns out, in the end, one thing: no one can help you with anything. Therefore, I tell you right away, do not invest in BTG-Capital. This is an incredibly dangerous idea, so just give it up. But today, I want to go further and tell you about how the customer support service of BTG-Capital behaves. And if you have already registered on their portal and left your phone number there, for sure they have already started calling you and actively saying that under the guidance of our consultants you will become a millionaire very soon. Did you have the thought to ask, friends, who you are anyway? How long have you been on the market? Of course, you will be told a fairy tale that the project has been on the market for a very long time, has a lot of awards in various international nominations for the best brokers, and so on. And that's exactly the tale I want to expose today. I propose to conduct a check on two serious international sources that can be trusted. These are resources whois.com and webarchive.org. Let's go there and see what we can find out about the project type. Okay, that's what we have on the whois, and that's what we have on the web archive. Both sources show that until the end of 2021, the BTG-Capital project simply did not exist. That is, it appeared only 6 months ago and immediately in the languages of almost the entire globe. To be honest, I have no reason not to believe these sources I have shown you. And this means only one thing: the support service managers will lie to you about anything just to persuade you to entrust your funds to scammers. And to do this, as I said earlier, I strongly do not recommend. Okay guys, I'm coming back to you just a second. Okay friends, I hope you have understood everything correctly. Do not invest in BTG-Capital. This is a fraudulent project in which you will never be able to earn. And as I said at the very beginning, be sure to write me if you have already suffered from their actions. Yes, and I will be glad to see your suggestions for evaluating and analyzing some individual projects that arouse your interest. I will definitely prepare interesting and truthful reviews for you. That's all I wanted to tell you today. Goodbye guys, see you soon in my new videos, and thanks to everyone who watched my review and liked it. Ciao guys!